If you have never been to the National Museum of Military Vehicles in Du Bois, Wyoming, you are absolutely missing out. We got to meet the governor and the owner of this great museum, Mr. Dan Starks and his family. This is what America looks like. Freedom. Carol and I, with Overlanding Adventures of America, would like to thank y'all for taking this trip with us over to Du Bois. It was a nice little 2-hour overlanding trip to the grand opening of the National Museum of Military Vehicles. As we head through Moose, headed north to Moran Junction. We hit a pretty good little snowstorm headed up over the mountain. Wyoming even pulled out the snowplow, just in case. As we entered the Shoshone National Forest, snow started to get a little deeper. If you look over, you can still see a frozen lake up top. Du Bois, Wyoming, population 739, elevation 6,946 feet, and it covers 3.4 square miles. Not much there. Just a good old country town. They got a couple of good cafes, an Ace Hardware, and a bowling alley. And it's also home to the National Bighorn Sheep Museum as well. It's a little bit different than last time. The Veterans Pavilion was absolutely full of military vehicles. This is where the governor will be speaking here in about 45 minutes. He created this museum because he was upset that school systems are distorting the history of our military. So he built this whole museum just for that. This is what America looks like. Freedom. As soon as the Blackhawk came in for landing, an elder lady that works for the museum got blown down. We didn't attempt to pick her up till it landed, but they ended up taking her to the hospital with a few bumps and bruises and released her. The sounds in the background were absolutely beautiful. It's amazing looking at our equipment from World War I. With the technology we still won. Right up here where the governor is going to be speaking. We literally sit 20 feet from the governor.
If you would please stand for the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, playing a recording by the Riverton High School. Citizens, please stand at attention. Gentlemen, remove your covers. Place your hands over your heart. Veterans and service members, attention. Veterans and service members, present. Hunt.
Up, three, and oh!
Can you see the dawn's early light, that so proudly we hailed and dry stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts repulsed were so gallantly streamed, and the rockets fled back, thou wast bursting in air. They proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sailors and star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
If you would remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
and for you to remain standing as the colors are retired.
Color. Air. Color. Color. Right field. Mark. Color. Over. Mark.
Gordon really does not need my introduction. He's the best known person here. However, I am going to make a couple of comments. First, I want to make sure to point out now, these are personal testimonials. This is not meant in a political way, but I want to say all of us here in Wyoming are extremely fortunate to have the very sensible, enlightened, conservative leadership of Governor Gordon. I want to particularly call out Governor Gordon's focus on reducing taxes, reducing the size of the Wyoming state government, promoting innovation, and diversifying Wyoming's economy, among other important initiatives, all of which prioritize the long-term welfare of all of us Wyomingans. I also want to acknowledge Governor Gordon's very common sense approach to providing leadership during the crisis of the COVID pandemic. It was amazing as we look and see what leaders in other states were doing, the craziness in other states. We had that calm, measured, thoughtful hand in leadership of Governor Gordon here in Wyoming to the benefit of all of us. Thank you, Governor Gordon. Lastly, I want to offer a personal testimonial for Governor Gordon and the First Lady. As I've come to know them, what I appreciate most is not their political life, not their political leadership, but who they are as people. I've never met two people with more drive, with more energy, with more commitment to doing the right thing, and to doing it with complete humility. I look at Governor Gordon and First Lady Jenny Gordon as role models to inspire me to be more like them and to help me be the best person I can. They just both want to make a positive difference. It's with great pleasure that I introduce Governor Mark Gordon. Governor Gordon, come on up, please. Governor Gordon is going to offer. All right, now we're going to do a simultaneous. So this is a ceremonial ribbon cutting. We're going to have all four scissor holders cut the ribbon at the same time. And this is for posterity. This is for us to all see who is here and who participated in this and who is part of this ceremony. So it's with great pleasure that we now cut the ribbon. Let's go ahead and cut it, everybody together. And our museum and our big ideas are officially in play. Thank you, everybody.
And this is where the fun began. We were able to overland in an M18 Hellcat tank destroyer from World War II. as we both waited patiently to take our turn to take a ride through history in a World War II tank, and also used in the Korean War with a crew member of 5. And let me tell you, it was well worth the wait. The looks on our face told everything you need to know. And this is where the other part of the fun began. As we walked over the Wind River to the shooting range, they had stopped selling tickets to the anti-tank rifle, the 20mm. So we chose to pick the M60 fully automatic. As you wrap your hand around the grip and your trigger finger on the guard, embrace your left hand on the stock, then you squeeze the trigger and you feel the freedom leave the end of the barrel. And they had plenty of freedom stacked in buckets. This was the M249. This 5-ton truck was named Kick-Ass. Never a more true statement. There are only two safes like this in the world. One houses the Hope Diamond, and the other one houses his firearm collection. June 7th, 1775. This is the most important firearm that led to our American freedom. Private John Sampson was instructed by a commanding officer, do not fire till you see the whites of their eyes. He took it upon himself, and as soon as he seen the redcoat, he fired his .79 caliber musket. He was court-martialed, reprimanded, but ended up rising to be a major in the New Hampshire militia. George Patton's 1911, and there's Wyatt Earp's 6-shooter that he carried. And that's Chief Rain in the Face. That's his rifle. Both of them. My cousin just happens to own one of these, and let me tell you, all I can say is, oh boy. This is a briefcase with the Uzi mounted inside. You can close it and fire it and nobody will know where it's coming from. And here are some other odd guns from around the country. What you are looking at in them glass case displays are George Patton's personal and military diaries. We at Overland Adventures of America thank y'all for taking this virtual tour through the museum. As you walk through this museum and through each era of each war, you literally feel like you were standing right there with them. As you walk down this hallway, you see all the different vehicles that they used.
Remind the patient spelling M-A-U-S-T, Diana Lynn Lodge Pavilion. Diana Lynn Lodge Pavilion, the Department of VA, Building 10, B47. Sick person, code 2.
Sometimes there are no words to describe an image. To know what these guys went through is why we stand for the flag. These are weapons they used against our men.
successful coup brought wild celebration.
No, man.
The main business at hand, war against the Vietnam communists. A dark page in the annals of America has been written to the tranquil assassin's bullet. The nation mourns, the world grieves. The man who became 35th president less than 3 years ago is dead. He led his country boldly through the treacherous shows of Cold War crises. His firm commitment to support the cause of democracy throughout the world won him acclaim almost unprecedented in the history of the presidency.
Bald eagle in Holland, maybe one in 100 years, on squares, on balconies, and aside to that, the bird was used as a messenger during the First World War, for example.
Carol and I both with the Overlanding Adventures of America really appreciate y'all for following along, subscribing, and be sure and leave a comment. We enjoy them. We appreciate y'all for sticking around for the grand opening for the National Museum of Military Vehicles and this virtual tour that we have given you.
Yeah.
See, if you would have missed all that opportunity just then,
Yeah.
you would have
That's it.
missed. It was way better than me shooting an M16.
At the last part of this video, you will see a great message from the owner, Dan Starks. But just prior, he was telling a story that if anybody came to this town and made a screw up, it would be their last mistake. Since 90% of the people are packing, he raised his shirt up and had his 9.
Unless you go change out of your uniform right now, which is illegal. Unless you go change out of your uniform, I'm going to arrest you for disorderly conduct consisting of appearing in public. I mean, it's that you could not have been treated worse. There's no way you could have been treated worse. You sacrificed more than anybody anywhere, and you were treated worse when you came home. Sometimes people say you didn't get a parade, and it's kind of like, well, that's bullshit. This doesn't have anything to do with Vietnam vets wanting a parade. This has to do with Vietnam vets wanting to be appreciated and wanting to be thanked. And, this thank you for your service and welcome home. That's the thing. It's just who told you welcome home? Who said thank you for your service and welcome home? And who said we owe you a debt we can never repay? and fine, I can't repay it, but I know I owe it to you. And you get that recognition, and you get that honor and that tribute that I owe you a debt that I can never repay. What happened to that? And so what we do, that's what we're working to do in that gallery. We're working to say, here's what you went through, here's what you accomplished, here's what happened to you when you came home, and all of that is wrong. And so then what we say is, it's all wrong, but you're still alive. And it's not too late for me to tell you we did you wrong. And you were not treated fairly. And you were abused. And you didn't deserve it. And what you did is what we would like to think that other Americans would do, and you did it. And then I can say to you, thank you. And I can say to you, welcome home. And I can say to you, your stories, your valor, and your sacrifice will be remembered forever by everyone who visits this museum. We've got that in print, we've got that spotlight on it if someone's coming through and it's not part of the tour. And then I tell people, we're all going to be dead. When we're all dead, your stories and your valor and your sacrifice still are going to be remembered by everybody who came here. Now that doesn't make it right, but it's the best we can do, and you deserve it as well as much more.
Doing a good job at it.
Well, thank you.
As I said, this is the first time I've come here.